So my full reasoning on wanting to do this is because not about the controversies or not about anything like that. It's more or less when I saw the story, I was interested, and this is around like 2015, 2016, when like the game was around its peak. And he had a bunch of interesting ideas, but I don't think but through this whole controversy thing and how Lovesick is being made, none of these will be executed. So I wanted to do this for myself and for anybody who actually cared for the story, to kind of give it a conclusive ending and kind of change up parts and fix certain characters. A lot of the characters he didn't have any like real reason for. I will be changing around the order on how each how each elimination is, because they all are not going to be killed in kind of like the way how I see the story. So here's how it looks. The reason why I changed Kazana from being the third to fourth rival is a whole later thing. It's a whole later event that happens, and I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's okay. Also, for Senpai as a character, I get he's supposed to be a blank kind of slate, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make him more humanized, because for him he just kind of seems he kind of seemed like a cardboard cutout, like how Sieg was from Apocrypha, to where his only discernible personality trait is, oh, I'm kind of dumb and it just didn't make sense, because you have other characters like Kokona and Budo, to where they're actually well, probably not Budo, but Kokona, where she's well developed. So yeah, let's get into it. And this won't be like one giant video. This will be like a series of videos, because I don't want to edit one giant 45-minute video. So yeah, again, let's get into it. So Osana Najimi is the childhood friend of Taro Yamada, the main love interest, or senpai, right? They've been friends since probably middle school, somewhere around that, childhood friends for her. So of course they're gonna have like this deep connection. She's always kind of had feelings for him, and she never wanted to talk about it. So again, she would be a secondary archetype character. But for her, I wouldn't say there would be much to develop on, and more or less you can give her and a lot of other rivals to where there's nothing really notable about her. These kind of quirks to where she might not be like a developed enough character, but she has quirks to make her memorable. So she was also inspired by Asuka from Evangelion, Rentosaka from Fate, and some other characters. She's fun fact, she's also voiced by Audrey from Honey Pop, and if you've watched a little bit of my previous videos, you know I kind of like me some Honey Pop. It's a good game. But let's get into how she would work in the sense of the story. Now, Osana, she would definitely be like, berating him with insults and kind of belittling him, but still being, friendly and kind to him at times, because she doesn't want to, show her feelings. So for her, she kind of interacts with Ayano in a more positive and likable light, because she doesn't really know her, so there's no reason for her to kind of be an asshole to her. So as the days go on, her and Taro, they get closer and closer, right? Ayano recognizes this, and she gets a message from this mysterious figure, who her actual name is her in-game name is Info-chan, but we're gonna call her Carly for the time being. She gets a call or a text message from Carly giving her information about Osana. Ayano asks, why are you so interested in Osana? And Carly, she replies with, it's of my business. Would you want to eliminate her, or would you want to cause her to not connect with the boy you love? And Ayano goes with it, so she plans out this. She puts a note in Osana's locker, and Osana gets the note. She thinks it's from Taro. She telling Osana meet her behind the cherry tree at the edge of the school. So Osana go do that, and then we lead on to Amai. What happened to Osana? Well, that's something for later. Okay, for somebody like Amai Oriaka, from my research on her, I couldn't find anything that would make her have an important story moment, but I can see her having an important, like, supporting character moment to where, she lifts Senpai up, because Osana disappeared for around, like, 2 or 3 weeks, and that isn't like her to just vanish out of nowhere, right? So she kind of tries to get his mind off of it for the time being, and like a thank you, he helps her around the bakery and kind of discovers that he has a knack or talent for cooking, and he just kind of bonds with her over the course of that. So Ayano, being the jealous human being that she is, she discovers this, but she realized that she couldn't murder Amai because Amai is a bit more social than Osana, to where if she murders her, besides her having her own club and that being shut down, more people would try to discover what she's doing and probably would figure it out for her. So her and Carly, they come up with a giant plan to find a way how to take her out of the equation without literally murdering her. So what they would do is make rumors up and kind of create fake evidence for Amai's club to get shut down and her reputation to get ruined. And from that point on, it would be like if Taro wouldn't talk to her because her reputation is ruined, because he wouldn't want to be associated with her. Because in Japanese society, once you did something major, or at least once you're associated with something major, that's going to carry you throughout a lot of your life, for real. And something they didn't think about is how close her and Taro had gotten at that point. He doesn't talk to her as often, but they're still like close, like really good friends at that point. So Ayano didn't expect that to happen, but she can still see Amai being outside of the equation. She's able to talk to Taro, and through a few conversations, she learns that he was considering joining the cooking club, but he kind of reconsidered not joining it. So she kind of smiles. He thinks it's like, cheer up, XYZ, right? But she's smiling because she successfully eliminated Amai without having to take her life. So then they kind of talk and bond, and not much really happens for the rest of Amai, but she is still alive, and her and Taro are still in communication with each other. The next rival is probably my favorite one, being Okaruto. So with Oka, the whole song and dance happens. She gets feelings for Taro. Ayano goes crazy. XYZ. So for this, I would say that Osana had something planned for Ayano later on, but for the time being, she could help her eliminate Oka. So as they're coming up with a plan, Oka actually walks up and talks to Ayano, saying something along the lines of, do you know that boy? And she's talking about Taro, and Ayano responds, and she actually tells Ayano that she has feelings for Taro, and how would that work out? And could she give her advice on trying to get with him? But as that happens, Budo Matsuo. So as Ayano sees Budo and Oka kind of having a conversation, in the middle of their conversation, she sees a golden opportunity and she capitalizes on it. Oka leaves, so before Budo can walk away, Ayano grabs his attention and kind of talks to him, kind of like, courses with him, trying to convince him, hey, yeah, you should actually capitalize on your feelings for Oka. He tries to deny it, but as anybody could see, he does have feelings for her. So she comes up with several ways how he can get her affection, and he does all several of those ways. I'll list them right here. So he does all of those, and he asks Oka on a date. And depending on how well he did on those, Oka would either say yes or no for going out with him. and that would be the Oka elimination. I like a lot of the art surrounding her, and I just kind of chose Budo because it was one of the more liked ones. The whole love struck part of it was just like the fan. It was just more or less of a fan way of disposing of her because I couldn't find a way how to kill her. So yeah. So back to what Carly and Ayano were gonna go do. Carly, with some help from other agents she has, was able to acquire a meeting with the Yakuza about some information she had gotten that could, excuse me, ruin ruin one of the operations they had. So she decided to use Ayano to meet with the Yakuza in a fish shop. But on the way there, Ayano bumps into somebody the way he was able to, and she saw their face, and a badge dropped out their pocket. That person being a cop, of course. So she goes into the back of the fish shop and talks with a Yakuza member named Skei Kiryu. If you get that reference, I applaud you. If you don't, I'll probably just say it in the comment section. So as she's doing business with Skei, this guy she bumped into earlier comes in, and before she hands off the information, she kind of hints at the guy being a informant for the sorry, it was something on my desk. Being an informant for the police, so they execute him on the spot, and Skei thanks Ayano, and now that Skei owes her a favor, Ayano came up with something that will get explored on later. But for the time being, that will be it for all I had planned, because so far this script is kind of long and this video is kind of getting longer. So the next one will be a solely Kazana focused one, because she was the main reason why I wanted to do this. If you have any suggestions or anything you want to talk about to me for this, there will be a link to my Instagram and my Twitter in the description, and it will be in the end of my outro. I respond more on Instagram than I do on Twitter, so if you want to really get my attention there, you just contact me there. I'll be seeing you, and I hope you enjoyed this video.